Yogi, when you play the kind of game you did with Louisville at that pace, you played, what, 36, 37 minutes. If necessary, could you have gone 40? I mean, how physically demanding is that particular kind of game?
A game like that is always going to be physically demanding. You know, I feel like I can always play. I always want to get out there and do the most that I can, but when I'm out there playing, I go to exhaustion, and then when I get a sub, I get a sub, and when I'm ready, you know, I just tell coach I'm ready, and then get back in the game.
And how exhausting was that game? Because it looked exhausting just watching it, so I'm trying to guess what it was like.
Yeah, I mean, it was exhausting physically and mentally. Just being out there trying to talk to my teammates and everything, just trying to get the win. I mean, going against a team like that is obviously going to be pretty exhausting, so that's pretty much just what it was.
Coach has talked about, Yogi, for you, because you've known him for a really long time. Coach has talked about Hunter's improvement this year, and obviously I think he's playing like 3 times as many minutes a game as he was last year right now. But, I mean, how would you characterize, I guess, just his improvement this year if you compare it to, you know, how much he improved or the rate at which he improved his sophomore year, his freshman year? I mean, how different is kind of just this year for him in terms of all the things he's trying to get better at?
I'd say his rate of improvement definitely has skyrocketed. I feel like he's slowed the game down. Hunter's definitely got more moves inside the post now. And I think that's because he's in the gym and practicing, working on it, and just carrying it over to the games. So I think Hunter can be one of our low post guys that we can go to, and you know, some of our shots aren't falling, and we can just go inside and try and get to the free throw line.
You guys were 8 for 11 on threes and then missed the last 8 or 9. What changed? Was it the Louisville defense or your impatience, or just talk about what happened to, you know, that big shift in making the threes?
Well, I think it had to do with we didn't move the ball as well. You know, we're a team that succeeds when we move the ball the most, and you know, whenever we penetrate, we have great penetrators. You know, Yogi, Stan, Rob, and James, and you know, we just have to make some more better decisions, I guess, in those situations.
Yeah, when Coach was talking about, I guess, some of the mistakes you guys made, like turnovers that Louisville was forcing, you mentioned like the idea of having tunnel vision going in and kind of having a made decision that you're going to attack the rim or you're going to do this or that. How much of, I guess, not committing as many turnovers is just being able to react to when defenses just change things on you last second? You can't really just go in with one idea. You just kind of do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, going as a team against Louisville, the main thing is just playing off instinct. So when he's talking about the tunnel vision, you can't obviously look at someone straight on, pass them the ball, they're going to steal that. So, you know, you got to kind of throw a look-away pass, really, or just move the ball, move the defense. But the main thing, I said, that game was definitely played off instinct. And, you know, when you have tunnel vision, they're definitely going to cause turnovers for our team, and they can score off that.
Yogi, I guess this is more for you because you've been here a little longer. This is a question about Marnie Mooney. And do you have an interesting story, funny story? Obviously, she's helped a lot over the course of years, but something about her that really kind of sums her up, or what, you know, what she's meant to you, what she's meant to the program?
Man, she's meant a lot to the program. I mean, I'm sure you guys already know just from hearing Marnie does everything behind the scenes. You know, we wouldn't have the great GPA, team GPA that we do if it wasn't for her. She helps us with all our classes, with getting them scheduled, getting tutors for us, telling us, you know, what we need to do for each class, emailing teachers, telling us when to meet with them. So if it wasn't for her, we definitely wouldn't, I'd say, have the strong GPA that we've had since I've been here, basically since my freshman year.
Is she almost like an aunt to you guys?
Aunt Mooney, I guess, yeah, you could say she is.
Both guys rank in the top 15 in the league in three-point shooting. As I said, since there's nothing next week, now's as good a time as any to get some feature stuff, if you want to, because we won't have anything until Friday at the earliest.
Nick, from your standpoint, in tying in with that three-point shot, what equates to three-point shooting success? And how hard is it to know when it's a good shot? I mean, maybe your definition of a good shot sometimes is different from a coach's. What is it that you're looking forward to when you're taking a good shot to feel the most confident about making it?
Well, a lot of it is preparation, not just like on the court, but 2 or 3 days before the game. A lot of it has to do with the footwork that the coaches and I work about, you know, in different drills and on my own. We have managers that are always in with us shooting and working on our footwork as well. So I'd have to say that that's a big thing when it comes to shooting in the games, because if you take care of, you know, the extra work before the games, it's just like second nature when you're shooting in the games.
Go ahead.
Drawing off of that, it seems like making the next pass has been a theme offensively for you guys. How do you decide with so many great shooters when it's your time to shoot versus, you know, being unselfish and, you know, making the next pass to your teammate? How do you determine if it's, you know, your time to shine or if it's time to pass?
Well, kind of what Yogi said earlier about the instincts, you know, at this time, you know, we're just playing and we know when to make an extra pass, and you're just out there. If it's your shot, it's your shot. You know, if you see a teammate, you know, open, more open than you, it's his shot. So you're just kind of flowing with the game and making an extra pass when it needs to be made. But when it's your shot, coach always says, he says kill it. So you got to do that.
Yogi, how much has it helped your game having shooters like Nick, James, Robert around this season?
I say it's great. It's definitely fun for me just to go inside and penetrate and kick others. I've always, you know, grown up, it's just fun just facilitating the ball with these guys. You know, I look good and they look good at the same time, and our team looks good. We're knocking down threes. So to have such great shooters like this as a point guard, you know, being myself, it's just fun.
Mike?
Nick, to sort of go off what you said about the preparation a moment ago, I mean, how often do you shoot, like, a day of a game? Do you shoot a lot the day of the game, or, I mean, how many shots do you usually put up a day?
Well, I go by makes now, so I don't try to get up a certain number of attempts. I always try to get a certain number of makes. But I probably, you know, every day I'm in there working, whether it's the game day or the day before. It depends on the game day. If I'm going to go, you know, super hard, I won't probably go as hard as another day. But you know, I always got to get your shots up and stay consistent with your shot.
How many makes are you aiming to hit right now?
Hopefully up towards 300.
300 a
per
day?
day? Per day, okay.
Does it feel like your three-point shooting as a team is almost like an eraser or Band-Aid, that if you give up some rebounds or turnovers, you can still, you know, trade threes for twos, or, you know, threes for stops and kind of make up some other deficiencies on the court?
No, we really can't look at it that way. If you want to get to the level that we want to get to, that's just not going to win for us or anyone really, no matter how big you shoot the three, because defense and rebounding is what's going to win you games, because that's what leads us to the open threes. That leads us to Yogi getting out there and transitioning and pushing the ball and making plays for us. Rob as well. So defense and rebounding is a huge key for us, and adding, you know, three-point shooting is just, you know, adding on top of that.
Zach?
I'm going to depart from the three-point shooting, so if anybody else has any questions about it. Yogi, you talked at Big Ten Media Day about essentially just getting away from social media, and you talked about the advantages. It just helped you kind of block out a lot of things that maybe have been distractions in the past. Now that you're kind of deeper into the season and the season's really going, I mean, have you noticed, I guess, the change you hoped you would in making that decision to just get off Twitter and just sort of get those voices out of your head, away from you?
I'd say so. You know, especially not having Twitter is probably the biggest one. It's been a huge advantage for me, especially after the loss that we had at Madison Square Garden, just not hearing all the fans or whatever, hearing their opinions, all their comments, just not listening to all the negativity, and just focus on what we need to do for our team. So I say that's the biggest thing. I like not having Twitter anymore. You know, I haven't really missed it ever since I got rid of it a few months ago. So I say that getting rid of that was huge.
And it was in like the summer, I guess?
Yeah, I think it was around the summer. I got rid of it.
Have you guys followed at all, and again, maybe this is more for you, Yogi, and Nick, the Big Ten tournament's going to be in New York City. Now, you'll be gone 2018. I guess you both will be gone, right? But if you were able to play that, is that something that as a player you'd like to have the Big Ten tournament in New York City or DC? As a player, does it matter? Because right now, obviously, it's rotating between Indianapolis and Chicago.
Well, we definitely probably want it around the Indiana area so we can have the most IU fans there. But, I mean, playing somewhere as, historical as Madison Square Garden, obviously is going to be lots of fun with all the bright lights out there. So to go out there and play again, I mean, that'd just be a great experience.
Yeah, Nick, I guess.
I mean, after playing in it once, it'd be a great venue to have it. I think it definitely would pay off to want to have it near Indiana for the fan standpoint, like Yogi said. But all three venues, United Center, Madison Square Garden, and then Bankers is all, they're all, great. So it's, pick whichever one you want.
Is it just weird, you're both from the Midwest, you're from Indy, you're from Chicago area, is it just weird to think about the idea that the Big Ten is really like physically trying to move some of its showcase events to DC, to New York, whereas, they've always been kind of centered either Indy or Chicago?
I mean, I guess it does seem a little different, but a conference like the Big Ten, they want to play in one of the best venues they can. Madison Square Garden is definitely one of those, and I think the Big East is not in there anymore, or they might be, but they definitely want to have one of the best conferences to play their tournament there every year.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.